Thanks for cutting your coffee break short, and welcome to the third session today, Systems for Archaeological Data Management. My name's Sean Ross. I'm based at Macquarie University, and I direct the FAMES project, which you'll hear about in the last paper of this session. So I too would like to thank the organizers of the conference. I put one of these on about this size a few years ago, and I know exactly how much work it is, and so I'd like to thank them for all the work they've put into it. So our first presentation today is actually going to be a video, and if the technology works, a Skype conversation. And this is going to be Cástulo, a test site for a new digital information system with Marcelo Castro from the Regional Government of Culture and Sport, and my Spanish is very out of practice, sorry, Junta de la Andalucía in Jaén, Spain, Francisco Arias, Maria Libertad Serrano, Ana Martinez Carrillo, Manolo Serrano, and Manolo Serrano Araque. So I will turn it over to Jody to start the video. Try to. Where'd it go? Oh, there. Try to. Trying. Sorry.
I'll do this.
Oh, it's going.
Yep.
The Guadalimar River, near the source of the Guadalquivir, formerly called the Betis, had, in the words of the Roman historian Plinio in his description of Plinia, roots forged of the silver from the mines near Castro. Cástulo, the last harbor on the Betis River. Today, the archaeological site of Cástulo. Enter in the last fortified city of Hispania. Below our feet is the mystical city of Castro, defended by walls and towers, forming a fortified line of more than 4 kilometers. There, above us, is one of the gates into this ancient city. Castro, fortified but open to the world, entered into Jaén. Castro, the last Mediterranean port in the United. The latest discovery, a lion from the city wall. Outside the wall, the northern cemetery. The history of the heart of Cástulo revealed. A public building opens its doors, and one of its rooms, the mosaic of Los Amores. The year is 96 AD. The mosaic has just been finished. More than 700,000 tiles, 6 meters wide by 7 meters long, 72 square meters, tens of colors, 18 images, allegories of the 4 seasons in each of the corners, and ferocious animals, a lion, a boar, a tiger, and a deer. In the center, the myth of the judgment of Paris, as well as the myths of Selene and Edmion. An explosion of fertility. Life opens its path. Now, we are reborn in Cástulo. We are being observed. Once again, the mosaic of Los Amores can be seen in a public space. The archaeological site of Castro. Come to Castro.
Sí, este sistema ha sido desarrollado para el proyecto por la empresa AICO y fue una solución bastante ideal para los problemas que teníamos planteados. Empezamos en la primera campaña tratando de utilizar en la excavación arqueológica tablets, el ordenador portátiles, pero está claro que ese instrumental no está pensado para estar 40 grados a la sombra en un ambiente completo de polvo, donde hay problemas para ver las pantallas. De manera que siempre en la excavación lo que se venía haciendo es escribir y su sistema nos permite seguir escribiendo, solamente que en este caso se hace sobre unos formularios que se imprimen a partir del propio sistema y a través de un lápiz escáner, un bolígrafo escáner y de también un pequeño smartphone, los datos que se van tomando y se van registrando sobre ese formulario pasan directamente al servidor central, que va organizando todos los datos que recibe, asignando códigos sucesivos y devolviendo esa información a través de un mensaje en el móvil a los interesados. El sistema se ha desarrollado hasta llegar a la fase de laboratorio, de manera que una vez que los materiales y muestras llegan al museo, se pueden etiquetar a partir de un código QR que genera el propio sistema y nos permite consultar la información contenida en esos 5 libros o bases de datos interrelacionadas que forman el tubo.
We will see the practice inside 2S. The system allows the capture of textual and related graphical information during the fieldwork. For this task, several different forms have been designed for recording aspects such as the type of deposit, the material recovered, and the excavation process. The records were divided into either three-dimensional records or individual records. The three-dimensional ones are especially referenced to the volume that contains them. The form specifies the type of content and treatment of material, and it is possible to add pictures of the process, details, and/or results. The form for individual records contains the same information as the three-dimensional ones, but with the difference that in these tables the exact position has been marked in order to be able to reproduce it later. Hence we assign X, Y, Z coordinates. The first unit defined is the volume. A volume is defined by coordinates X, Y, while levels are associated with vertical Z. This formula distinguishes between the different document volumes at superficial level, division by construction, or complete or arbitrary division of space. For each of the register levels, it is possible to add an image of it. The XYZ data capture is carried out using a total station.
In our project, we use the following process to record visual information. The data capture method is fast and simple. For each of the areas excavated, it's enough to take several photographs of the area. The photographer moves around the perimeter of the trench, taking photos in sequence. The same procedure is repeated each time the excavation level is lowered. The greater the number of pictures taken, the more information the 3D model will have, but we must also bear in mind that this will generate a larger file. The pictures are then processed with Agisoft PhotoScan software. The images are sent to a server, and the 3D model is generated from them. The process can take minutes or hours, depending on the size of the photographs taken and sent. This software also allows for previewing the 3D model. While enabling greater study and public dissemination of cultural heritage through the use of 3D recreations is one of the objectives that we have in creating models of objects, another goal is to improve conservation activities. 3D models reveal the state in which the artifact appeared during excavation and initial treatment. A model can therefore be used as a point of reference for the original object at a later date. And if, by some chance, damage to or loss of the object occurs, the model serves as a record of it. Our 3D models form part of the database's catalog card as an interactive PDF document, and like all the system's data, they will be available for study and research by future archaeologists. We thereby enable an exhaustive archaeological analysis of the object, including all the data needed for a contextual interpretation. Following principles laid out by the London chapter, we never edit the artifact mesh obtained by photogrammetry. Our working practice focuses on interdisciplinary approaches to the 3D models. The modeling team consults with the conservation and cataloging teams to get their conclusions regarding the artifact before we start developing and editing the model in Blender. We decide whether it is possible to reconstruct the artifact. If it is an interesting architectural component, we explore whether it could be worthwhile to restore as part of a virtual building. We also consider whether the 3D artifact could form part of the study of how to deploy virtual light and shading, and whether we might be able to create a presentation in which a hypothesis for the function or use of artifacts could be tested. Here we are showing you some videos from our public dissemination efforts. These are not intended to replace an exhibition of the real artifacts in our museum in the city of Linares, but create a virtual experience that forms part of the presentation in the Interpretive Center at the archaeological site itself. Both advantages, preservation and public dissemination of heritage visualizations, have already been prioritized by the European Union's 3D Icons project, which, through its Carrara metadata schema and Europeana platform, encourages the creation of visualizations of archaeological heritage.
The visual documentation that has been generated in the field, such as photographs taken in a determinate area and turned into a 3D model, can also produce 2D visual documentation, such as accurate scale drawings of trends, plans, and stratigraphic profiles from a 3D model.
Using two-waste, we can obtain a highly accurate visual description of the components that form the archaeological context: volumes, surfaces, layers of materials, and records. The exact positions of the elements are noted, which enables a more complete 3D virtual reconstruction. A critical reflection on the inner workings of how archaeological information is recorded was necessary to develop two-waste. The new data recording system has been designed so that information developed from an archaeological intervention is made simpler and more rational.
So, do you want to do an announcement or something? Just let people know that it's going to be 1 second.
Yeah, I sent them a note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Hello, hello. So we're going to try to Skype in at least one of the authors of the paper. We're going to see how that plays out. And maybe, is Justin going to come in too, or do we know?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yay, there's Justin, all right. Welcome, welcome Forum MMX, yeah.
They can see us below there.
Okay. So I guess now is the time for questions, and you can ask them in Spanish, or you can ask them in English, and Justin is going to help translate. Or if the question is easy enough, or if it's a question that can be answered without translation, that's also helpful too.
Actually, Joe, there is a short statement that the Forum MMX people have prepared, if that's okay.
Okay. Yes.
Of course.
Marcelo.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Marcelo? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Should we try to call him again?
Can you hear us
I think it's
in Spain?
Part of their, yeah, if you want to send them an IM.
Sí, saludos, Justin. Me alegro verte.
Ok, perfecto. Sí.
Okay. Saludos, Eric, Jody, Justin.
Greetings
Buenos días
to
para ustedes. Buenas tardes desde el conjunto arqueológico de Cástulo, en Linares, provincia de Jaén, Andalucía, España.
So he greets everybody, especially the organizers, and to those of you in the audience, saying good evening from the Conjunto Arqueológico de Cástulo in Linares, the province of Jaén, Andalucía, Spain.
Sí, precisamente hoy celebramos el Día Nacional de Andalucía, de ahí la bandera.
And it's exactly today they are celebrating the National Festival of Andalusia, as you can see by the flag behind them. Go ahead. No, is it Marcelo? There's more. Maybe I should. I'll just read I'll just translate the statement.
Okay.
He's introducing.
Estamos aquí Libertad Serrano, Francisco Arias, Manuel Serrano, Ana Martínez, José Manuel Pedrosa y yo, Marcelo Castro. Como han visto, no hemos venido a ofrecerle un producto terminado, sino una búsqueda que empezamos en 2011 dentro del proyecto Forum 2010, un proyecto del Instituto de Arqueología Ibérica de la Universidad de Jaén. Necesitamos un sistema de información que sustituyera al modo pretecnológico de enfrentar la excavación arqueológica.
So, as you have seen, they have come to offer you a product that is being finished. That they started in 2010, a project of the Archaeological Institute, the Iberian Archaeological Institute of the University of Jaén. They needed to create an information system that would substitute a pre-technological way of working for an archaeological excavation.
Are we ready for questions?
Yes, I suppose so. I mean, I don't know what the delay is like for you. It seems like it's a long delay for Spain.
Sure. So we'll go to questions now. Are there any questions?
Thank you. My name is Teresa Huntsman. I work with the Sardis expedition. My question is, with all of this wonderful photogrammetry data, especially for objects.
Reunir la información numérica, textual, gráfica, fotográfica y videográfica que se genera en la excavación arqueológica. La parte central de este sistema ha sido desarrollado para el proyecto Forum 2010 por la empresa AICO Soluciones Soluciones Informáticas de Vigo, Galicia, España.
So he was continuing the text. I don't know how to communicate with them about the delay, but I can continue translating. He said we needed to reunite or to bring together the numerical information, the textual information, the graphical, photographical, and videographical information that was generated in an archaeological excavation. The central part of the system was developed by Forum MMX with a company called ICO, Informatic Solutions in Vigo, in Galicia, in northwestern Spain. Libertad, I don't know if you can hear me, but there's a huge delay on your end, and I think it's probably better if we do not continue with the statement. Can you hear me? No, nothing? So that's Libertad.
Okay.
Yeah, there was someone that was making a question. We couldn't hear the whole question.
Okay. Can we have the questioner again?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll try to make this quick.
Justin, thank you.
Sure.
We will answer the rest of the question.
I'll
Great.
try.
Okay. So my question was, with all this great photogrammetry data, especially for objects excavated in the field, what are plans? I mean, this has to generate massive amount of data. What do you do to store all of this data and plans for kind of long-term preservation of it?
Okay, so this system was developed by the Spanish group, and I've only recently come to the group. What I can tell you is I know that they have a cloud storage system which is managed by the company which I was mentioning before, ICO, Informatic Solutions, that developed the database. And so the storage needs seem to be adequate and also seem to be secure from what they've been doing.
Thank you.
Well,
Go ahead, you can talk. Well, maybe we should say thank you very much to the Cástulo team because we have a very long delay, and we would like to thank you for sharing your video with us and all of your information. It's been really wonderful to have you. So thank you for your statement, and we'll have to end the call now. So thank
Jody,
you.
Can I just make one
Yes.
one offer of a way to get information outside of the conference would be to contact them.
have a very big difference between the sound and the image.
To contact them at forum_MMX, and it's FORVM_MMX. That's their Twitter account. That's a great way to get in touch with them.
Everyone should wave now so they can...